Hey guys, it's Christy. Thank you so much for clicking back on the channel. Today I have some treats that we're going to make today. As you can see, we're going to make 3 of them. I'm going to start with some peanut butter balls. Then I'm going to make some Christmas mix. And then I'm going to end with some chocolate covered pretzels. So let's get started. So in my bowl, I have 1 cup of peanut butter and 6 tablespoons of regular butter that I had. I think it's the salted kind. And I'm going to add in some powdered sugar. I'm going to add about 2 cups of powdered sugar, as you see me struggling with the powdered sugar here. I didn't realize how messy this process of getting the powdered sugar out of the bag was going to be, but at this point I decided that maybe I should work in 1 cup at a time so that the powdered sugar doesn't fling everywhere. And today I was just struggling with everything. I just wanted to make these desserts. So here we go. I finally got my mixer plugged in, and start out slow so you don't fling the powdered sugar everywhere. And it was a process of trying to get the peanut butter, and powdered sugar to cooperate together. At this point, you can also add in some vanilla. I did not. And again, struggling with my mixer to put in the last cup of the powdered sugar. I'm sure there's an easier way to get the powdered sugar in. It was just one of those days. I was on vacation for a few days and came home and was really wanting some sweet treats to make for everyone in the house, so it was a compromise. We're going to blame it on lack of sleep. Okay, so now we're going to finish mixing in the powdered sugar, and once you have it kind of incorporated, you can turn the speed up just a little bit. Just keep in mind that it did take me a little bit to get everything mixed together, and you're kind of going for a whipped peanut butter look. That's the best way that I can describe it. So just keep in mind it just takes a little bit. Just hang in there and keep mixing it. I think we're almost done. I was just mixing away. Mix, 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 mix. And towards the end, I put my hand up just because some of the peanut butter did start to flick across the kitchen, and I didn't want to make too much of a mess. So I just put my hand over it. Sometimes it'll prevent that peanut butter from flying across the room. I told you guys it takes quite a bit to get everything incorporated in. And then I'm just going to make sure that I have as much peanut butter off of my blades as possible. And then just pop those bad boys out. And we're going to get a lined cookie sheet. And I'm just going to use a small ice cream scoop. And I'm going to try and flatten them out. I'm just going to show you guys a couple of them. I'm just going to scoop them on to this cookie sheet. And at first I was going in a nice roll, but then later I just started randomly putting them all over the place. I'm going to show you a few more. Just scoop it up the best you can and then plop it on the parchment paper. And we're going to actually put these guys in. See, here we go. No longer going in any order. I just decided to go down. I think I forgot that I was actually filming. So I just started doing my own thing. All right, now that we have all of our peanut butter balls on our cookie sheet, we want to put these guys in the refrigerator for a little bit. I did notice that some of mine were kind of a little bit wonky, like they had some of the peanut butter fluff. That's what I'm going to call it, peanut butter fluff. The whipped peanut butter like going crazy. I still wanted like a rustic into my dessert, so I didn't do all of them. I just did a few of them to kind of tame them just a bit. And then once we have what we like, we're going to take it over to the fridge. I ended up putting mine in the fridge while I started to melt down my chocolate. I do a double boiler method because I suck at melting chocolate in the microwave. I always burn it. So I just did the double boiler, and then I'm using the utensils that I have on hand at my house. So I just used a fork. You just drop your little peanut butter fluff ball down into your melted chocolate and then tap off the extra. And then I used another fork just to get the ball off. And I have some parchment paper that I will show you in just a few moments that I'm setting these guys on. And I realized at some point that you need to be quick. Even though I put my peanut butter balls in the refrigerator, I didn't freeze them, so they were melting. And here is my peanut butter balls on just some parchment paper, and they're cooling. And here is one of them open. These are so fluffy. I loved them. I love the way they turned out. So my second treat that I'm making today is just the Christmas Chex Mix, my version of it. And like I mentioned before, I'm not that great at melting chocolate in the microwave. I have a history of burning it. So I just use a double boiler method. So I have a pot of water boiling or getting hot on the oven, and I'm just breaking up about 6 of these white chocolate bark bars, and I'm going to put it on top. And now I am going to start mixing up the ingredients that I have. I do believe you can just put whatever you would like in yours. I went with the traditional corn Chex cereal, and I'm going to put 6 cups of the Chex cereal, and mine is the corn. So 6 cups of that in. And then I'm going to do Honey Nut Cheerios. I realized at some point I did not have the right end open, so flip. I'm going to do 4 cups of the Honey Nut Cheerios. And again, you can do regular Cheerios. It's just whatever flavors you would like in your mix. And I'm going to put some dry roasted peanuts in mine. And again, you know my history with opening things, not that great, but I got it. I started off with 1 cup of the peanuts, and I dumped it in and realized that that was hardly anything. So I decided to put a 2nd cup of the dry roasted peanuts in, and then I have one of these small bags of pretzels, and I just wanted to measure it to see how much it was, and it was just over 2 cups on those, so in they went. And then I have a bag of the Christmas M&Ms, and I wanted to measure it just to see how much this was as well. And it was about 1.5 cups of the M&M candies, and I'm just going to dump those guys in as well. And just a shot of how my double boiler works. I just have a little saucepan with some water in it, and it's boiling, and it is melting down my white chocolate, and I just keep an eye on it. This is easier. It takes longer, but in my opinion, it's easier for me. And with the magic of the internet, I realized that I had too much in one bowl, so I halved my Christmas mix into 2 bowls. And just be careful when you're getting your chocolate because you are on the double boiler and it is hot. So I use just a hand towel to scoop up my chocolate, and then I'm going to mix as fast as I can like a wild woman to try and get all of the cereal and pretzels, just a light coat of the white chocolate, and just do the best that you can. I think it does a pretty good job because we're also going to lay this out on a cookie sheet. You can see it right next to me, cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. And we'll do a double check to make sure that everything has a nice thin coating of that chocolate over it, and make sure you just scoop the bottom so you make sure you get the cereal and the nuts that's fallen to the very bottom, and just making sure that everything is coated pretty good. You do get a really good arm workout, I would say, in this. And then plop, there goes all my Christmas mix onto the cookie sheet. And I'm just going to dry it for a little bit. So I'm just going to make sure everything's coated and in a single layer to the best of your ability. And then I'm just going to redo the same thing. I don't think I showed you guys, but I'm going to do the exact same thing to my other bowl. So here I have both of my sheets, and I thought about taking this part out, but I left it in. So you can see that not everybody is perfect with the stuff that they put on the internet. I was really struggling with trying to get my mix back into the bowl. And I'm just making it easier on myself. I'm putting it right back in the same bowl that I used previously to put the white chocolate on, and success, ta-da, I did it. But at this point, I'm going to put an ungodly amount of powdered sugar. And that's me taking my powdered sugar out of my bag, and it totally went flying across the room. So yes, I did have to clean up a little bit of powdered sugar on my floor after I was done. So I put some powdered sugar in the bowl, and here comes some pretty awesome skills. Here we go, guys. And this is just what I decided to do. I didn't want to try and make a huge powdery mess with the powdered sugar, so I used the tools that I had, and this was my other bowl that I had my mix in, and I just kept shaking it pretty good. The powdered sugar pretty much stayed inside those two bowls. I was pretty impressed. Look at that. Nice and coated with powdered sugar. Up close powdered sugar, it came out pretty good. I did have to still a little taste. It was pretty good. The last treat is just some chocolate-covered pretzels. I think I saved the easiest for last. Again, just the double boiler because, you know, my history with burning chocolate in the microwave. So I just wanted to make sure that I have all my chocolate melted. And I'm just using the chocolate bark. And then I just really just toss my pretzels in. And I have parchment paper lined next to me, and I try not to make a mess, but every now and again I do. So I'm just going to grab a pretzel. I'm going to tap off the excess chocolate and then plop it right down onto my parchment paper. So I'm going to show you a few more of these guys. It's really the easiest treat I ever make. So just get that excess chocolate off, and then straight down onto the parchment paper. I'll show you that in just a moment. And we're going to grab another pretzel. And as the chocolate continues to melt, it does get a little bit thinner, and it goes a lot faster with the excess chocolate just dripping off. It does go pretty quickly. So just pay attention to that. And we're going to grab, this pretzel was eluding me in the chocolate soup, but I got it. And there we go. And onto the parchment paper. And this is what they look like after they have cooled for a little bit. Hope you enjoy, guys.